The haunting at Whaley House, a true paranormal encounter. It was a crisp autumn evening when a group of friends decided to visit the infamous Whaley House in San Diego, California, often cited as one of the most haunted locations in the United States. The house, built in 1857, had been the site of numerous tragedies, including executions, sudden deaths, and mysterious accidents. Its grim history was a magnet for paranormal enthusiasts and skeptics alike. The group of five, armed with curiosity and a few smartphones for recording, booked a twilight tour, eager to experience something they had only read about in ghost stories. The encounter with the paranormal. The stairs that creak alone. The tour began with an introduction in the living room, where the guide explained the tragic history of Thomas Whaley and his family. As the group ascended the narrow staircase, a distinct creaking sound echoed behind them. "I thought we were the last ones," one of the friends whispered. When they turned to look, the stairs were empty, yet the creaking continued, step by step, as though an invisible presence was following. The phantom perfume in the upstairs bedroom. The guide spoke about Violet Whaley, Thomas's daughter, who had taken her own life in the house. As the group stood listening, one of the friends, Sarah, remarked, "Does anyone else smell that? It's like lavender or rose water." No one else in the group had noticed it until they moved closer to the old vanity. The scent grew stronger, and then, just as suddenly, it vanished. The guide later explained that visitors often reported smelling floral perfume, believed to be a sign of Violet's lingering spirit. The Polaroid phenomenon. As the group entered the dining room, John, the group's skeptic, decided to snap a Polaroid picture for fun. He shook the film and waited for the image to develop. Guys," John stammered, his face pale as he held up the photograph. In the image, there appeared to be a faint outline of a man standing by the fireplace, dressed in 19th century attire. No one had been standing there when the picture was taken. The cold touch. The final stop was the courthouse room, which had once served as a courtroom. As they listened to the guide's tales, Lisa, another friend, felt a sudden chill on her arm. "I think the AC just kicked in," she muttered, but the guide shook her head. "There's no ventilation in this room," she said solemnly. Moments later, Lisa yelped and pulled up her sleeve. 3 faint red marks, like scratches, had appeared on her arm. "That's enough for me," she said, visibly shaken. The aftermath. The group left the Whaley House with more questions than answers. While some tried to rationalize the events as coincidences or the power of suggestion, others, like Lisa, were convinced they had encountered something unexplainable. The Polaroid became a talking point among their friends, with many pointing out the eerie resemblance of the figure to archival portraits of Thomas Whaley himself. Sarah, still unsettled, later researched the history of the house. She learned that the scent of lavender was indeed associated with Violet, who was said to have worn a similar perfume during her life. Unexplained. To this day, the friends remain divided on what they experienced that night. Whether it was the result of vivid imaginations, atmospheric illusions, or genuine paranormal activity, the Whaley House left an indelible mark on each of them. And for those brave enough to visit, the house still stands, waiting to share its stories, or its spirits, with those who dare to enter.